up, everybody. This will only take a second. I just want to tell you all about the cool app that I use to record both of my podcasts called Spotify for Podcasters. You too can download it, start your own podcast, maybe make video podcasts. Or if you want to make a little coin, baby, with your podcast, you can do so using Spotify for Podcasters. So download the app today. Good morning, everybody. If you hear the pitter-patter of feet, it is my little puppy, Penelope. But, man, we are getting ready to discuss all kinds of cool things coming for 2024. Really looking forward to this episode. I've got the next episode kind of planned out, too. But this one, I just wanted to talk some things that are coming, albums from country and metal artists, as well as discuss some things that I've got coming for 2024. We are going to be starting a short series over on the other podcast, on my Calloused Hands podcast. We're going to be starting a series over there that I'm really looking forward to doing. I've kind of repeated myself there, and I didn't mean to, but I don't want to drop too much information here on it, but definitely go check that out on Thursday. And then, hoping to get some merch out for Calloused Hands as well as this podcast, like just some t-shirts and hoodies with logos on them. That's in the works. I'm very excited about that. And books, lots and lots of books, content over on my YouTube. I really enjoy cooking, so we're gonna do some cooking videos over there. Been doing soups here lately, and so you can check out videos of me cooking soups over on the YouTubes as of right now, and we're gonna add some other stuff too. So really looking forward to doing a few different things. Cold smoke some cheeses. So if you've never cold smoked cheeses, I didn't make any informational videos at this time for that. It was just more or less filming smoking the cheeses. But that's really cool because that kind of, I guess, applies to the whole spirit of the whole tin roof idea. So we can talk cooking here. We're gonna talk all different kinds of things here. So we can talk cooking for a minute. But for cold smoking cheeses, basically you use your smoker as the insulation for smoking, and then you have you got to buy what's called a smoke tube, and you fill it with your pellets like you would for smoking anything else, and then you light it with a torch. I was using a cigarette lighter wand, like one of the wind resistant cigarette lighters, and it melted the tip of the wand, and so you really gotta kind of watch what you're doing, or else melting it like I did. So really, some sort of smelting torch or professional cooking torch would be the way to go on that. And I ended up having it too close to the pepper jack. So if you try to do multiple cheeses like I did, where you pretty much fill up your smoker with cheese, I would recommend putting a harder cheese closer to the smoke tube. That way you don't end up melting a cheese, because the pepper jack got a little melty. Not that it ruined it or anything. The pepper jack is so good, but we've actually got some that's aging, and then we've got some that we ate right away. We ate a little bit of mild cheddar, and man, it's so good. And we've eaten a little bit of the pepper jack, and I think that's our favorite so far. But we smoked some Swiss too, and we just decided to age all of it. And I tell you what, guys, for that Swiss, it looks like the wallpaper out of my grandmother's house. It's yellow halfway through the block. It's going to be fantastic. And another thing that was suggested to me by a family member who also loves to smoke various things, they told me, like, hey, look, here's what you got to do. Cut the cheese blocks in half, because I bought 1 pound blocks. And he's like, cut the cheese blocks in half because the smoke will penetrate better. And so that's what I did. And man, I'm looking forward to enjoying that throughout the next year. And it may not even last me that long. I may have to do it one more time. I've got a few things planned, like cooking video wise, that I want to do, but I want to be dropping a couple a week over on like TikTok and even on my YouTube and different things. Books, hoping to drop a couple of comic books. I would like to drop 2 comics this year. I don't know if that's going to happen. Sit. Sorry, my dog is requiring attention this morning. But hoping to drop a couple of comic books. Going to be dropping a couple of books, like chapter or whatever wise you want to call it, in 2024. The plan is for at least two devotionals and then a handful of other books, and I'm doing okay. But my first book that I'm wanting to drop is going to be at the end of February, and I gotta get some work done on that, dude. I may be biting off more than I can chew with everything that I'm wanting to do, and I felt that way even with trying to start these 2 podcasts that I've got going. But man, I'm really happy that I have. Things are going great, and I'm really looking forward to doing more. But man, I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. I guess you are, because you guys keep coming back for more. So that makes me excited. One last thing is we're going to be dropping another podcast. It's going to be our 3rd and final channel, or however you want to call it. And it's going to be very different from these other 2. And I think what I'm going to have to do is record a couple episodes ahead. Like, I'm going to have to get ahead with it before I start dropping episodes for it. But man, that one's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be more of a channel, because there could end up being more than one show on it. But it's going to start off with one show. We'll see what ends up happening with it. But man, I'm excited to make more content. We're going to be doing some more stuff with like the D&D side of things, like tabletop role-playing games and stuff in general for Paladin's Maledict. So keep an eye on Paladin's Maledict. We're going to be trying to step up our stuff over there as well. But enough about me. I've spent way too much time on myself. I just looked at the time that I've spent talking, and it's like, I did not expect to talk that much about what I had going on. I thought it would only take me a couple of minutes. But we've got all kinds of cool news. Last night, AEW did their pay-per-view, World's End, and the main reason why I'm sharing about wrestling, because I know not everybody is big wrestling fans. I am. It's a big part of who I am. One of my favorite guys, Samoa Joe, won the title last night, and I'm really happy because it's long overdue. Like, the dude's faced Brock Lesnar in some amazing matches, as well as several other guys while he was over in WWE. He and AJ had an amazing rivalry at TNA, and I could go on and on and on. And this dude is getting the flowers he deserves, finally. So, super happy about that. And, let's see. Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, won the TNT championship last night, and then they immediately gave it back to Christian Cage. I'm not quite sure what the thought was behind that. That seems kind of dumb, to have somebody as awesome as Edge come over and give him a 60-second title reign, essentially. That doesn't really make any sense to me. But I'm not the one writing. And it's cool to see him and Christian having a rivalry, seeing as how they were tag team partners for as long as they were. And there's so much more other stuff that I could cover uh, from that show last night, but that's not what my focus is. If you are a wrestling fan today, later on, Monday Night Raw is happening, but they're doing like a pay per view special this whole week with their shows. So like Monday Night Raw is day one, which is really cool, and then I can't remember what they're calling NXT. It was some sort of New Year, like play on the New Year thing. And then Thursday, or not Thursday, SmackDown's used to be on Thursday. Friday is the New Year's Revolution over on SmackDown. So that'll be pretty cool. So lots and lots of cool things going on with wrestling right now that I'm excited about. And we're getting ready to start the road towards WrestleMania. Royal Rumble will be in the month of January, so that'll be cool. But let's move on to music, since that's what we're normally here for. But guys, this is kind of like the whole spirit of what Tin Roof is all about. It's not just music. Music will be the forefront, but we're gonna discuss other things too, because we're here to have fun and discuss some cool things. We're gonna start with some country albums that are listed to come out this year, and so in 2024 we've got country music coming from Hannah Ellis with an album called That Girl, Brittany Spencer, My Stupid Life, Charles Eston, Love Ain't Pretty, Connor Smith, Smoky Mountains, Randall King, Into the Neon, Gabby Barrett, Chapter and Verse, Blackberry Smoke. So far, out of like these ones, Blackberry Smoke is the one that I'm probably looking forward to the most. I guess I'm gonna have to give the other few a try to see what I think. But Blackberry Smoke in February with Be Right Here, March 29th, Hardy with Hicks Tape Volume 3, and then March 29th, Sheryl Crow, and an album called Evolution. So I wasn't super like stoked on that list, but I was like, well, there is some stuff that could be interesting. But what's got me really excited is Cody Jinks has announced his album coming out March 22nd, and it's going to be called Change the Game. And I'm really looking forward to it. The one song that I've heard from that album so far, Outlaws and Mustangs, is fantastic. And I'm a big Cody Jinks fan. And he's such a cool dude because he's very much a metalhead as well as a country fan and a wrestling fan. So he's a neat guy and puts out good music. He's independent, which I really dig. I like guys that are independents. It looks like he has released another song from Change the Game called Sober Thing. I'm gonna have to check that out. But he's like, it's up on the YouTube, or not YouTube. It's up on Apple Music, so you can see like titles of the songs, and it looks really, really good. Like, there's one that features Pearl a Day. A couple of the other song titles would be, well, self-titled, Change the Game, The Working Man, What You Love, I Can't Complain, Deceiver's Blues. It looks like a really good album. And man, if you're like a fan of Lifers or any of Cody Jinks' other albums, I listened to Mercy a lot this past year. I really like the song Hurricane. Shoulders is another really good one from Mercy. Dying Isn't Cheap is another good one on there. Hurt You. So many good songs from Mercy. So I would definitely recommend, if you haven't listened to the Mercy album, to get ready to listen to the Change the Game album. I would check that out. Now, for metal albums that are coming out in 2024, 3 Inches of Blood is actually coming out with a new album. Last one that they released was in 2012 called Long Live Heavy Metal. And so it's really cool. They've got some reunion shows scheduled for 2024, all in the month of January, but who knows? We know that they're working on something because of Instagram posts and different things. So we know that 3 Inches of Blood has one coming. Anthrax is working on a new album for 2024. Black Dahlia Murder is going to be working on some new things. It'll be their first album with Brian Eschbach on vocals, replacing Trevor Stranad, who passed away. And Chimera seems to be making a comeback from some rumblings that are being heard. I don't have any actual album titles, but these are some guys that are working on some things, kind of like Hush Hush. Dream Theater is working on a new album. King Diamond is working on one for 2024. Mudvayne is going to be producing new material for the first time since 2009. We had last heard from Chad Gray and Mudvayne working on some new things, hoping that it comes out in 2024, but it seems like it might not. But man, Mudvayne's doing shows again, and the hopes of new music is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to whatever they put out whenever they put it out. So looking forward to that. Shadows Fall is putting out new music in 2024, and I cannot wait. That has me super excited. I love Shadows Fall, so really looking forward to that. Mastodon, they're putting out a new album in 2024. The most recent one before that was in 2021 called Hushed and Grim. Really dig me some Mastodon, so that'll be cool. Sum 41 is going to put out some new material. Green Day is going to have one out in January called Saviors. Pearl Jam's working on new stuff. Tool's working on new stuff. Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden is actually putting out a solo project called the Mandrake Project. So that'll be pretty cool. Looks like it's scheduled to come out on March 1st. Chelsea Wolfe is putting out new stuff. Job for a Cowboy. It's been a while. Yeah. So 10 years. I knew it had been a while, but it is Job for a Cowboy will be putting out new material in 2024. So that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Darkest Hour is going to be putting out new material. Obviously, Judas Priest is. It has been announced that Slipknot will be putting out a new album. It is going to be called Look Outside Your Window. And it was confirmed by Clown that this was going to be happening some point in 2024. Not sure when, but it kind of makes sense. But the last time... No, it involves material that the band was working on whenever they were working towards or working on, however you want to say it, the 2008 All Hope Is Gone album, which was really, really good. So looking forward to seeing what might be on this Look Outside Your Window album. Deftones is working on stuff scheduled to come out sometime in the spring or summer of 2024. So that'll be cool for the Deftones fans. Exodus has got stuff coming out since I messed up there. Bring Me the Horizon, Post-Human Next Gen. So that'll be pretty cool. This album was actually meant to come out in 2023, but did not. And really, that's kind of what we've got for metal stuff that is scheduled that we know of for this upcoming year of 2024. Definitely some cool music for sure. And man, yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be a good one. Started trying to find other new outlaw country music albums to look at because I just was not happy with that list. And then I came across something that I was like, wait, what? That was really, really cool. And there is a outlaw music festival that is coming in 2024. It's actually being done by Willie Nelson. So here's the press release or whatever. So Willie Nelson gets back on the road again. The revolving lineup of country and Americana greats is coming. This year's lineup includes folks like the Avett Brothers, John Fogerty, Robert Plant, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, which is from Missouri. By the way, like close to our area where I live, which is cool. He lives, I'd say probably like, I think it's like an hour away or two, like hour and a half away. but really cool dude there. Marcus King and Allison Krauss and more, it says. So it looks like a really cool tour. I'm trying to pull up tickets. It says no events coming. So that looks like for St. Louis, there's no events coming, which is kind of a bummer. Because that would have been one that I'd want to go see. So check to see if the Outlaw Music Festival is coming to an area near you, because that's a great lineup. I did some digging for some other festivals as well, which we'll get into in just a minute. Oh, Outlaw Country Cruise 2024. Let's look at this. Okay, so if you want to go on this Outlaw Country Cruise, you're going to have to buy tickets really, really soon, because it's February 4th through the 10th. So it goes from Miami to Puerto. It won't let me see the entire thumbnail. That's annoying. But it leaves Miami, Florida, and goes to Puerto Plata, wherever. Puerto Platypus, for all I know. But you're invited to join this crew of rowdy fans for the Outlaw Country Cruise, sailing from Miami, Florida. The festival cruise is a no-holds-barred rumble on the high seas. Here we go. Here's the festival poster, and it's Miami to Puerto Plata and San Juan. So Blackberry Smoke is the headliner with Lucinda Williams, another one that I'm a big fan of. She's really good. Steve Earle will be there. Ray Wiley Hubbard, Nikki Lane, 49 Winchester, Shiny Ribs. Pretty good list of bands that are going to be there. Roger Allen Wade, which if you guys ever listened to the Outlaw Music channel on Sirius XM, he's always on there with Johnny Knoxville, which Johnny Knoxville is probably one of my most favorite DJs from the Outlaw Country station. Did such a great job. Mojo Nixon will be at this Outlaw Country Cruise as well, talking about the Outlaw Country station from Sirius XM. But man, pretty good looking lineup. So if you want to get away and catch some sun, I would probably say that this Outlaw Country Cruise would be a good time, just by looking at everything. So I guess while we're on the subject of cruises, or not cruises, but festivals and stuff, so some current tours that are going on through the year 2024, and we'll get back to the festivals and stuff here in just a minute, but some of the 2024 ongoing music tours: Countersmith's Creek Will Rise tour, Ashley McBride's The Devil I Know tour, Carrie Underwood's Reflection Las Vegas residency. She'll be there through October 26th. Garth Brooks's Las Vegas residency will be going on through December 22nd. Then we have, starting in January, we've got Parker McCollum's tour kicks things off. It's called the 2024 Burn It Down tour. Cody Johnson's Leather tour, and it goes through July 11th. Scotty McCreery Cabin of Solo tour. Bailey Zimmerman's 2024 Religiously the tour. Oliver Anthony's Out of the Woods tour, which that dude had a huge 2023. So it'll be interesting to see what he ends up, doing in 2024. And then Jordan Davis's Good Time World tour. Jody Messina's Heads Carolina, Tails California tour. So we're running it back with that title. That's pretty cool. Nothing like remembering the 1990s, right? And then Brantley Gilbert's Off the Rails tour. Larry Fleet's The Earned It tour. Clint Black's Killin' Time 35th Anniversary World Tour. That would be a fun one. I get excited whenever I see some of these older titles coming back like this for tour names. That's pretty fun. Blake Shelton's Back to the Honky Tonk tour. Is it, Blake? Is it really? His older stuff was some of my favorites back in the day. So, that could be a lot of fun to keep an eye on. Not that he hasn't put out, good hits lately, and like he's like a true country guy, you know, out there farming and stuff, and so like hats off to him. But like he's lost me on a few of the recent ones, but man, his old stuff fantastic. Like you can't get any better than Old Red. In all honesty, like that's such a good song. Like that whole album that Old Red was on was so good because he had Austin. There was a song about, you know, what's actually country. So yeah, Sam Hunt's 2024 Outskirts tour. Brad Paisley's going on tour. Riley Green, and man, I like both of those guys a lot. I know people are really high on Chris Stapleton, including myself, and he's going on tour as well in 2024. Zach Bryan, Tim McGraw, Lainey Wilson, Brothers Osborne, and Kane Brown, all also going on tour. Oh, and there's even more. Everybody's going on tour in 2024. Like, I'm all the way up to April right now, and like Darius Rucker is going to be in Europe next year, all the way like April through May, basically. And then Luke Combs, which that Growing Up and Getting Old album, which is what the title of the tour is going to be, is fantastic. It was one of my options for album of the year, but I ended up going with Cody Johnson's Leather. So, you know, both of those guys going on tour, maybe look and see if that's something that's coming near you that you would actually, you know, want to go see. Darius Rucker, I guess I'm going to have to do this for metal too. So I didn't mean to do this deep of a dive on country acts going on tour. The rock and metal bands touring in 2024 tour guide. So the Architects gonna start getting on tour early. Avenged Sevenfold. Bryan Adams, for you old rock fans. Alkaline Trio. Beartooth gonna be getting on tour with The Plot and You, Animate, and Sleep Theory. That could be a good tour. We got Blind Guardian. Blink-182 is going to do a short tour with Pierce the Veil. Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. Oh, Code Orange is going on tour. Code Orange is pretty popular amongst wrestling fans. They did the theme music for the late Bray Wyatt. They did his most recent one with Shatter, and they also did Let Me In for The Fiend. You can't find Let Me In on places like Spotify or Apple Music. It's still up on YouTube, so if you want to check out the Let Me In song, go to YouTube. Also, if you are like not a fan of masks or face paint, try not to find one with the picture of Bray's character that he played when he had the Let Me In theme, because it might be scary to you. Creed's going on tour. You know, I think everybody knows at least one Creed song. But I don't know if I would be motivated enough to go see them in a concert. They're just not my thing. But I think everybody likes them. I went and saw Judah and the Lion with a ton of friends last year, like 2022. And that was a really good time. I had a blast. Really enjoyed the music. And Judah and the Lion actually covered one of the songs. I can't think of the name of the song. I know the words, but that was a fun time. Devil's Wear Prada is going to be touring Disturbed, and Disturbed's touring with Falling in Reverse. That I'm sure that one's going to be a good time for Disturbed and Falling in Reverse fans. Hey, punk, you know, Irish punk music. Dropkick Murphys is going to be going on tour with Pennywise. What? With Pennywise? That could be a lot of fun. The Eagles and Steely Dan will be touring this year. Fall Out Boy. And they're touring with Jimmy Eat World, the main Hot Mulligan. The fact that like some of these older acts like Fall Out Boy, Jimmy Eat World, you know, Dropkick Murphys, like seeing some of these old school punk bands touring and stuff is pretty cool. And I say that with much love because I enjoy all those guys. Foo Fighters, they're touring with various people. One of the most notable ones would be the Hives. Foreigner, going to be on tour. Godsmack, Green Day with Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid. What? That's incredible. That could be a fun one. Greta Van Fleet will be touring, which Greta Van Fleet's a lot of fun to listen to. They might be pretty cool to see live. Sammy Hagar. So, lots of really great tours. Whoa, hold up. I just seen one that is probably going to go on my must-see because they're my favorite band, and that's Iron Maiden. So, really looking forward to that. And that's not till way late in the year. So, I'm going to have to take a look at the calendar, see if there's a date even near me. But that's definitely got to go on the list. So, Iron Maiden will be on tour like October and November of next year. So, if you're an Iron Maiden fan, go check out, see if they are coming to a town near you. And yes, Judas Priest is also touring. They're going to be in St. Louis May 5th. So if you're a fan of Judas Priest, keep that in mind. But I think we've looked at tour dates long enough. I wanted to look at festivals. And I think that's kind of where we'll end is with festivals. I didn't look at like a ton of festivals, and I only picked a couple really to look at because like there's a lot of festivals out there. But most notably, there's some spring training festivals that go on during spring training out in Tempe, Arizona for like the teams that are going to be out there, like MLB legends and stuff show up to those. So that's kind of a neat extra thing. But the Friday of the extra innings or just innings festival, February 23rd and 4th, that Friday part of the festival really had me excited. Not so much the Saturday though, but like on that Friday you have Red Hot Chili Peppers, Greta Van Fleet, Jimmy Eat World, 311. So some really big, rock bands playing the innings festival. And then the extra innings festival has guys like Chris Stapleton, the Turnpike Troubadours, El King, and so some pretty big names on the Friday night. And then Saturday you got the Dave Matthews Band, Noah Kahan, Sheryl Crow. But the one that I most notably like picked up on and was like, oh, that's pretty neat, is Morgan Wade. And the MLB legends that they talk about being at these two festivals, I don't know them because like I just more recently became a fan. So like I know the bigger names, but like these guys I'm not too familiar with from either one. Then the M3F festival wasn't really anybody there that I recognized, so I don't think that that's like any kind of music that I personally listen to. But I found a list from Thrillist. So if you want to look at the Thrillist.com for their music festivals list, go check it out and see if there's any festivals that you want to go to. The next one that we're going to look at is the Two Step In Georgetown, Texas. This one, man, I don't know, like, if there's some way I could, like, get a media pass or something to cover these for the Tin Roof podcast. This is one that I would want to go to as a media person to cover because there's some really cool bands at this one. So Saturday you have Cody Johnson, Coulter Wall, Leanne Womack, Martina McBride, and others. And then Sunday you would have Turnpike Troubadours, Hank Williams Jr., Clint Black. Ludacris is there for some reason. But because like out of everybody, like he's most notably one that doesn't fit in with the names that I'm seeing. But that's pretty interesting. But yeah, Two Step In Georgetown, Texas looks like a really cool show, especially to me, like the headliners for Sunday with Turnpike Troubadours, Hank Williams, and Clint Black. And then Sunday just looks awesome. Or not Sunday, Saturday just looks awesome because you got Cody Johnson, Coulter Wall. So that would be a fun one to go to. Just real quick, a couple of names that are going to be at the Shaky Knees Music Festival in Atlanta. You got Young the Giant, Arcade Fire, Weezer, Queens of the Stone Age, The Offspring, Foo Fighters, Billy Idol. So some really cool bands at that one as well. And that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday festival. Rockville. Rockville and Daytona looks awesome, and if I could make it to this one, I totally would want to, because the list is long. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you've got guys like, so Thursday is just huge, in my opinion, because you have Motley Crue, Judas Priest, Anthrax, Disturbed, Mudvayne, Skillet, Flyleaf, Skindred, which I had to mention Skindred because I'm a big fan of Skindred, but like, just so many bands, Machine Head, Carrie King, and that's just Thursday. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to Friday real quick and cover some of the Friday ones. You got Limp Bizkit, Falling in Reverse, In This Moment, Powerman 5000, what? That's cool. Jelly Roll, The Offspring, Co Wetzel, Living Color, for you Living Color fans, they're pretty cool. So that would be a cool one to see there as well. Most notably, I thought it was interesting that Jelly Roll and Co Wetzel were there, just because, like, for the most part, this is a rock festival, and they're a little rocky, but they're, like that outlaw country-ish style in my mind. So you got, having those two guys there is neat and different. In Flames, Slaughter to Prevail will be there. So some really cool bands on Friday as well. Saturday, you got Foo Fighters, Greta Van Fleet, Primus, Queens of the Stone Age, A Day to Remember, Stone Temple Pilots, Cypress Hill, Clutch, Code Orange. I think those are the most notable ones from Saturday. And then Sunday's a big one, because you got Slipknot, Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence, Theory of a Dead Man, Sum 41. So Rockville looks to be a pretty promising festival. And then I think the last one that I'm going to cover would be, so Turnpike Troubadours, Winona Judd, and Counting Crows will all be at the Railbird Music Festival in Kentucky this year. Oh, and Dwight Yoakam. This is one that I wanted to cover, because I remember seeing Dwight Yoakam's name earlier whenever I was doing my research for this. And Dwight Yoakam's going to be there with Chris Stapleton. So that'd be a cool day to go see. And that's in June. And then, like, the last one that was really, this would be a good one. I can't believe I missed this one. But Under the Big Sky Festival out in Montana, at Big Mountain Ranch, you've got Brothers Osborne, Billy Strings, Turnpike Troubadours, Miranda Lambert, Tanya Tucker. So that would be a pretty good one, and that's in July. So that's really cool. But the last one that I wanted to cover would be in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the When You Were Young Festival, and it's got all kinds of cool bands like My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Jimmy Eat World, Simple Plan, Dashboard Confessional. It looks like Coheed and Cambria might be there, because I see the 4 album cover in the picture, but that may not necessarily mean anything. Yep, there they are on the edge of the, because like the way the When You Were Young Festival is set up, it's like you got the picture with all the album covers of the people that are going to be there, and then their names are in teeny tiny print around the outside. Looks like A Day to Remember will be there. I see the Wonder Years, Escape the Fate. So if you're like old, I see Page Avenue by Story of the Year, local St. Louis guys. So that would be a really cool one. Ticket prices for some of these festivals are crazy, because like general admission for When You Were Young is $325, and then you got to pay to get there too, and then you got to pay for lodging. But I mean, if that's what you enjoy doing, is traveling and listening to music, that could be right up your alley. But so some really cool stuff coming in 2024. I think we're pretty well going to just wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for coming and checking it out today and discussing some new things. Let me know what your plans are for the new year. Like what you are wanting to do for yourself, and what music and stuff you're looking forward to. Do that in the comments below. Also, if you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple Music or Apple Podcasts or however that works, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe, whatever, and give us a review so maybe other people will find this podcast and, start listening and help this thing grow. We're still in the infant stage with this, but it's really cool to see where we're at with listeners and everything else. It makes me excited, but I've definitely enjoyed the feedback that I've been getting from people as far as, just all the different communication. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a good one, and we will see you next time under the tin roof.